Aloha, and welcome to the Great Love Now course. I'm Virginia St. Clair, and I'll be our guide through the course. We'll begin with my telling you a bit about the course and everything that will be included in it, then a little bit about myself. The course consists of 17 modules, each about 15 minutes. It is divided into 4 parts. The first part is called Falling in Love with Ourselves. The second, The Joy of Loving Another. The third, Living Abundance in This World. And the fourth, Leaning into the Divine. You're welcome to listen to the modules in order or any way you wish. Of course, not surprisingly, beginning at the beginning is, as always, a great place to start. The entire course is on YouTube, along with 3 short guided meditations. In addition, you will find all the practices from the course in the Great Love Now Practice Playbook, downloadable for free from my website, greatlovenow.com. Great Love Now is a guide to living joyfully in all of our relationships. It begins with our relationship with ourselves, then with a beloved partner, then with our dreams and the world we live in, and finally, we'll explore relationship with the divine and with nature, where many people find themselves closest to the heart of life. Life is a mystery. This course represents the clearest I can be today about life as I see it. And how I see it is subject to change, of course. More is constantly being revealed to all of us on this magical journey through life. Perhaps you will write and tell me something that will open a new door for me, and my view will expand. I would love that. If you'd like, please be in touch with me. You'll find my email on my website. Now, a bit about me. I am trained as a pastoral counselor and a spiritual director, and have performed over 1,000 weddings, mostly on the beaches of Hawaii. I have also counseled hundreds of couples and individuals in their journeys of love. Celebrating weddings and counseling individuals and couples, I've been privileged to see how profound and intimate love, which is fully and truly expressed, can be. I am always humbled and awed by it, and it is my joy to assist people in their life as they live it day by day, either by themselves or together with a beloved partner. Since what I share with people in counseling offers ways to think about love and life that are new to them, many people I've counseled asked me to write a book to help them move into deeper harmony and intimacy throughout their relationship adventures. My book, Great Love in the 21st Century, A Path to Intimacy, was so well received, I was inspired to create this course. What makes this course especially helpful is that it is filled with practical tools which actually work to create a life each of us will love to live. The content and practices in this course come directly from what we have talked about in counseling, in individual counseling, with couples in pre-wedding sessions, and with couples who have been together for years. We are all teachers and students of one another. As you take this course and discover the suggestions here, please use what feels right to you and leave the rest. I believe that each of us is a sovereign being, and we can discern what will support us in being our true selves. I believe that each of us is invited by life itself to be fully ourselves and to live in the joy of being who we are. My hope is that we each let our lives be guided by the highest, that we receive new thoughts and ideas with open minds and hearts. It is not uncommon for us as humans to think that the way we look at life is probably the only way to look. Yet, as we traverse the modules of this course, may we find that there is another way, a way that might lead to greater peace and harmony in and between us and our loved ones. Having great love now means living a life we love. It also means loving ourselves, loving everyone else, and loving the planet on which we live. We may have tried with all our might to live a life of love and peace. We may be frustrated after all our best efforts. I do believe that we are all doing the best we can with the tools that are available to us. We may think, more hard work, I'm not sure I'm up for it. We may be asking, will it be difficult to have this great love? May I assure us that this course and the practices it introduces fall much more into the category of play than they do of work. It's true that play may be strenuous and require the development of muscles and skills we didn't know existed. That's all right. Challenging play is fine. We'll find that great love play takes the time it takes, and all along the way we can revel in the joy of the journey. We're on our way. We're moving in the direction we want to go in. Will we arrive somewhere and stop? As we know, life continues unfolding as the days and years go by. Our joy in living great love is to enjoy the journey, to be present to life itself, to the myriad flavors of each day. I sometimes think that our biggest job in life is to keep our eyes open and keep breathing. I believe that life brings the things we need to be free and full and happy as we are ready for them, that everything that has happened so far in each of our lives was meant to be. I believe that at the heart of each of us is love, and that each of us is here on the planet to uncover the unique person we already are and have always been. If this is true, then everything that happens is designed to help us discover who we are and what we need to do to be true to ourselves. And here we are embarking on this course, which will lead us along on our journey of love. What a joy! In the Great Love Now course, we will begin with the most intimate relationship we'll each have in our lives, the relationship with ourselves. Then, based on a firm foundation of knowing and loving ourselves, we will explore and gather tools to have an ever-expanding, harmonious, and fulfilling relationship with a beloved partner. We'll follow that by looking at our dreams and how we can cooperate with life in realizing them. And finally, we'll ponder our relationship with nature and the mystery at the heart of life, the divine by whatever name we call it. The course is filled with practical tools to help us develop skills that will aid us in a lifelong journey as loving travelers. At times, I'll lead us through some of these helpful practices to invite great love now and true intimacy to settle into our lives. An essential part of the course is the Great Love Now Practice Playbook, which is downloadable and printable with all the practices throughout the course, as well as others from my book, Great Love in the 21st Century. There are also 3 short guided meditations to enjoy again and again. I do recommend that you have a copy of the book itself, as there are many things in it which we won't have time for during the course. Great Love in the 21st Century, A Path to Intimacy, is available on Amazon. You'll find the link in the practice playbook and also on my website, greatlovenow.com. I also recommend that you have a notebook or a journal as you traverse these modules, since many of the practices invite us to write. And most of all, I encourage you to use these practices. They will fill a toolbox you can access throughout life. As we begin the course, my heartfelt wish is that all of us live the fulfillment of our heart's deepest desires. I wish each of us a beautiful unfolding life of love. Now let's begin our journey with the adventure of falling in love with ourselves. The first part of the Great Love Now course deals with what I have come to believe is the most important relationship of our lives, the relationship with ourselves. On that relationship is built all other joining. This is the invitation of a lifetime to discover who we are and to become that person. I believe it is only in becoming established and knowing and being ourselves that we can be truly present to develop a happy and harmonious relationship with others, and especially with a beloved partner. We live with ourselves day in and day out from the moment we're born. In fact, 24/7, we're always with ourselves. If we wake in the night, there we are. It is my hope that as we explore the ideas presented here and make use of the practices, we will find that on this ongoing daily journey, we're traveling with someone we enjoy, our very own selves. How wonderful it is to think of that. When I was a child, there were already things I knew about myself. I loved the water and swam or found my way into a boat every chance I could. I also knew I liked being alone. I was contemplative. I thought about the way the world works, about God, and my place in the universe. I collected buttons, feathers, rocks, and other small treasures I found on my adventures. It wasn't long, however, before I forgot about myself and what I liked, and set about trying to please others. Little by little, I stopped doing what I loved and lost touch with myself. Many people I've counseled have told me stories very similar to mine. How can we turn that around and come home to ourselves? As I've looked, I see that the way I was looking at life was, in many instances, the opposite of how life actually works. For example, I thought, if I told you the truth about how I felt, you wouldn't like me, you'd abandon me. Funnily enough, when I began telling the truth, I found that the opposite turns out to be true. I tell you an authentic and tender truth about myself, and we grow closer. Withholding the truth is the problem. Telling it is the solution. Similarly, I thought that if something hurt, I'd better leave it alone. If I had a headache, I'd walk around gingerly and very quiet. I certainly wouldn't touch my head. Funnily enough, I discovered that if I massaged my head, quite often a headache would disappear. Even more amazing, when I began to face my emotional pain, it too began to disappear. I thought I would die if I faced the pain. But when I faced it and felt it fully, a profound sense of peace took its place. I've heard from many people what was true for me. When I first began reawakening to myself, I felt regret. Why hadn't I seen this earlier? Then a glimmer of hope arose in me. I sensed that what was lost in the past would actually be restored, that the joy that was coming was worth everything I had been through and all the playful exploration and practices that would lead me home to love. I had hope that what seemed irretrievably gone could be restored. There would be time for me to enjoy being myself and living true. This bears repeating. Dear ones, may I remind us that at any time we've done the best we could with the tools we had. We can forgive ourselves for the past and move on. It is my hope that as we move through this course, the past will take its rightful place and no longer take our attention from the present. As I have listened to the stories of hundreds of people, I can say that all of us have been hurt. Hurt is a part of life, and we all have our stories. As for mine, I held on to one way of telling my story for a long time. There were a lot of he saids and she saids. He did this and she did that. One day it dawned on me that I had been telling myself a carefully crafted version of my story. Little by little, as I've learned to take responsibility for my life, my story has changed. I've become willing to look at the past differently. Yes, naturally, I had to investigate my life from childhood on. If I were going to be free from the past, if I were no longer going to carry the past around with me like a heavy sack, I had to begin to have the feelings I repressed, and I had to stay with them as they healed. The healing happened slowly over time as I practiced with the tools offered here. Today, I do my best to live as current with my story as I can. If hurt arises, I use the practices in this course to heal as it comes up. Even if there has been immense pain in life, healing can take place. Through working with many people, I have seen that the human spirit is truly indomitable and that victorious lives can rise out of what are seemingly insurmountable circumstances in childhood and beyond. My heart holds all of us in love and with great bright wishes for our moving from surviving our past hurts to thriving in the light of the sunshine of the present. I believe that no matter the past, we can thrive and celebrate the freedom we have to live fully. This life journey takes courage, and I am in awe of the courage that invites each of us to face the painful past and do what it takes to heal. And now, the first inkling of a practice that can begin our true intimacy with ourselves. Since we can only live our lives one day at a time, in a sense, each day is a new beginning. Let's take a moment to picture ourselves waking up in the morning as an empty cup ready to be filled with whatever the day will bring. What will we fill ourselves with today? If we are in the habit of filling ourselves each day by engaging in small, loving actions, we will automatically begin filling our cup up with love from the moment we're awake. If, on the other hand, we've been shortchanging ourselves on love, it's easy to begin. Since a cup full of self-love is made up of many small, loving actions throughout the day, all we have to do is to pick one small thing and do it. And then we do another. Let's think of what some of those loving actions might be. Very simple, right from the start. On opening our eyes, saying something like, "Hello, new day, welcome." Making our bed, brushing and flossing our teeth. Maybe some yoga, some prayer and meditation, a step outdoors to further welcome the day. Dressing in clothes we love, looking in the mirror, greeting ourselves. Just simple things, one by one. It's especially easy to start filling our cup when we realize we have to be full to have something to give. It means realizing that only we can make sure that we are full, that no one else can do it for us. Only I can give myself what I love. This may be a good time to open a fresh notebook or journal and begin writing. What will I fill my cup with? What are those tiny loving actions put together that allow me to fill myself up? We begin where we are. It is just the right place to begin. In our next module, we'll explore our inner landscape and how to find and sing the song of ourselves.